Let's see it.
All righty, welcome to the After Hours of T.C. Restani, the podcast, week number 6. I am your host, T.C. Restani, and I'm here with my esteemed panel of experts, and I'm going to go down the horn and introduce them right now. The one and the only Boomerang Chastain making a return.
Hello, TC. How are you?
How you doing there, Boomerang?
Okay.
You're looking good. The hat's on tight
Yep.
this week?
WrestleMania.
The cowboy hat. You're looking good down there.
Thank you.
All right, person who was absent last week, he said he had car trouble or some sort of nonsense. Where were you really last week, Vinny Capelli?
Really, I'm serious. It's kind of funny. Last week, all of a sudden, it's funny. Mic breaks all of a sudden don't work. I mean, funny. Somebody's not here this week.
Well, I do know where Hollywood Joel is. Hollywood Joel had a fungus infection on his leg because he attempted to do one of the barbecue smoothie challenges himself.
Again?
And no, I don't know what he put in his, but he had a really bad allergic reaction, and I tweeted out a picture at After Hours TC, and you can see this kid's leg. It looks like he went 3 rounds with a great white
Did he
shark.
go shopping with Jeff?
He could have gone shopping with Jeff, which is a perfect segue, introducing the greatest celebrity stalker of all time, South Boston Jeff.
Hey TC, it's great to be here. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, of course. We taped this.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's boiling out there. It's great to be. At least you have air conditioning up here in the penthouse, you know.
Of course, in the podcast penthouse, we would always have air conditioning because things get rotten and spoiled, and that's a perfect segue into introducing Colonel Bull Montana. What's going on there, Colonel?
Hey, good evening, TC. Good evening, all you iPod fans.
Okay, now, Colonel, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about your love life. I want to get a little update on your little Jamaican honey down there. Anything going on down there? Inquiring minds want to know.
No, nothing at all right now.
Nothing, huh?
It was funny. I was ripping up on when I was having car trouble. I wound up taking out the motorcycle. And it was funny because in my playlist, a song came on. I'm on the highway, ripping, doing about 85, 90. And I think of this guy over here because all of a sudden Bob Marley comes on. And the first thing I thought of is he's dating a Jamaican.
He is dating a bull.
He's dating a Jamaican.
Well, Colonel's a worldwide traveler down there.
Oh, yes, he is.
So how's your week been, Colonel? We haven't seen you since the last podcast, which was 7 days ago. What have you been doing the last 7 days?
Well, the last 7 days I've been working down the famous pizza kitchen.
Shameless plug for the pizza kitchen.
The weekly plug.
It is a weekly plug, and it's a good place to go. Now, that's all you've been doing, is just hanging around the beach, huh?
Correct.
Unbelievable.
Hey, TC,
Yeah.
quick question. What is this thing in the middle of the table?
Well, I'm going to get to that after we find out
All right.
what everybody has been doing this in the last 7 days. Boomerang Chastain, what have you been doing the last 7 days?
I've been taking a little walk.
For
and,
7 days. You took a walk for 7
yeah,
days.
I've been walking every day to Medford Square.
Oh, yeah.
Did they have a movie like that called Forrest Gump or something like that?
Yeah, run Reno, run. So you're out there getting the sun, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you got the garbage man tan right there. I can see where the shirt stopped and the tan begun. Well, you're looking good over there. You're looking
you.
trim and whatnot. I know you enjoy walking around, going
Yeah.
down to, what's that place called? Different Donuts?
Yeah.
I thought it was called the Combat Zone.
No, that's a different place. You go down and get what? Free donuts from them, right?
Yeah, I get free coffee, donuts once in a while.
Okay, what's your favorite type of donut?
Boston cream.
Boston cream, huh?
Yeah.
Keeping it local, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Now, South Boston Jeff, what have you been doing the last 7 days since the last podcast?
Well, I've just been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, just catching up on all these crazy ghost hunting videos and listening to a lot of Alex Jones. You turned me on to him.
I love
mean,
listening to Alex Jones.
Oh,
Alex
yeah,
Jones
that-
is one of the, a lot of people don't understand him and they think he's a crackpot and whatnot, but a lot of things he said in the
Is this
last...
the Bohemian?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The guy who infiltrated the Bohemian Grove 16 years ago last month.
So-
You know, you had me looking that up, right?
I'm
I really did. I was out looking that thing up
And did you-
all these other conspiracy theories.
And what did you think about Dark Secrets Inside the Bohemian Grove?
You know, I gotta believe it, to be honest with you. From what I read, I believe it.
Well, did you see the video when he
I did.
actually went in there?
I did.
And it doesn't look like it's reminiscent of what they do in the WWE with The Undertaker.
yeah.
So, but that's fake on TV with The Undertaker. What you were seeing there was the global elite acting out these crazy mock sacrifices.
It kind of reminded me of that movie, Eyes Wide Shut, in a way. You know, with this this kind of crazy high society type of people.
The
doing
secret
this.
society,
Yeah,
the
that-
Illuminati.
Yes, there's a lot more to that movie than meets the eye and everything.
Well,
I'll have you know that through watching these things and different cults, I found out that Nicole Kidman's father was actually involved in a satanic cult, a satanic pedophile cult, it's rumored and everything. And right after one of the survivors came out of the closet and talked about it, he mysteriously died, mysteriously committed suicide or something like that. And Nicole Kidman, let's remember that Stanley Kubrick, the director of Eyes Wide Shut, died right after that movie was finished,
Right.
and he didn't even get to see the release.
And there's a rumor that the Illuminati clipped Stanley Kubrick.
Oh yes, I'm starting to think that myself.
You know?
I mean, I'm not liking this Illuminati right now. I'm glad
Because
to be a
there are
Catholic.
also rumors that he actually was the guy who filmed the moon landing, and they staged it and whatnot. And Stanley Kubrick was the one who supposedly directed that.
Okay, well, that is one thing I don't buy into. I do believe they landed on the moon.
Well, after looking at the panel down here, I tend to agree with you. What have you been doing? You actually weren't here last week, so what have you been doing in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I did have car trouble last week.
Okay, right.
But actually, I had to do a little trip out to New York.
Oh, yeah?
I had a little work I had to do out there, take
yeah?
care of a few things.
Can you elaborate on this work?
Not at this time. Maybe off the air, me and you can
Is it,
speak.
is it a little conspiracy? Or is it,
It's a little bit of what I like to call collection.
collection?
Yes, collection.
Oh, so you're doing stuff in the church?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, good for
People
you.
were praying, that's for sure.
I'm sure they were.
Other than that, just kind of enjoying the weather here right now in this fine state.
Right, unbelievable.
And, looking forward to actually getting into sports. And been playing a video game called Skyrim.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a friend of mine has hooked me onto this on the computer. It's called modding.
Modding?
Modding, and you take the computer game and you add all these mods into it, and it really changes the games.
What the hell's a mod?
It's just a way to rewrite the game.
Oh, okay.
And
You're not one of these goons still walking around looking for Pokemons.
I don't play Pokemon. I refuse to play that game. I'm a grown man, not a moron out in the street walking around with my phone.
That is true. That is absolutely
Although
true.
I heard Boomerang Chastain is going to start one where you capture hookers.
How are you?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what he's going to do with his money.
It's going to be called Poke Your Mom, right?
Poke your mom.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. Okay, now, it's the political season. Everybody's talking about, who's going to run for president and whatnot. I'm not really into politics, and I don't like talking about politics and whatnot because, I think it's all staged anyway. I mean, let's get down to brass tacks here. Two people running for president spending millions and millions of dollars for a job that only pays a couple $100,000. That makes absolutely no sense in my book. I know you if you become the president, you are the supreme ruler of the planet Earth. I mean, let's get down to brass tacks. It's an ego thing more than a financial thing and trying to make, do a job.
Well, you are aware there's more than two people running for president. It's just the media
Of
only
course.
pushes
Of-
the two people.
Of course,
And quite frankly, it's a friggin' circus.
It's always a
Let's face
circus.
it. It's retarded what it is.
Now, speaking of this, and I know, did you hear what Clint Eastwood had to say about what's going on?
No, can you enlighten me?
Okay, everybody knows who Clint Eastwood is, the Academy Award-winning director, actor. He's 86 years old now, and he's a diehard Republican. And he's not really for Donald Trump. I mean, he'll support him, but and he's definitely not for Hillary Clinton. But he was talking about how the world has become way too politically correct, too PC. And he actually quoted that he was calling this generation the pussy generation. And he went on to state that everybody walks around on eggshells and takes things way too serious. And a lot of people quietly agree with what Donald Trump is really saying, but they can't do it because they'll be shot down by not only the media but their neighbors, their families, and whatnot. I mean, we all grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we remember shows like Archie Bunker on All in the Family.
Dukes of Hazzard.
I mean, none of that could ever air today. I mean, look, the king of all insults, doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are, is Don Rickles. I mean, here's a guy his act for the last 50 years has been insulting people, but no one ever says anything bad about him because they know it's all in good fun. But people take things way, way, way too serious. And Clint Eastwood, He's a man's man. We all know that.
I know that.
And of course, you met him on the set of what was that movie?
The Mystic River.
The Mystic River. And
right in South Boston.
I mean, guys like that are old school guys. He's 86 years old. And his generation, you know, you were either a tough guy or you were a wimp. And you didn't let things bother you as much as people saying insults and whatnot. I mean, everybody's here has been insulted. Everybody knows somebody who's, you know, says all these crazy things. You just let it roll off your back. But this new society, this social media society, has become way, way, way too walking on eggshells. And PC, I'm TC and we're not PC. And let's get you into social networking here. The social media craze has only been around for what? Maybe 10, 11 years,
Well,
maybe a
you
little
figure
longer.
America Online kind of started the whole social media kickoff.
Oh yeah, with the chat rooms and
The chat rooms and
right.
the talking. But yeah, you're about right. Really kind of everything gone social media. I mean, everybody puts everything out on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram nowadays.
I mean,
It's
their whole
ridiculous.
life is out there.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And what really is crazy is they call it social media, but if these people had a one-on-one conversation with a person, they can't do it because they have to communicate now with a device. I mean, everybody out there that's doing podcasts, my hat is off to them because they are actually conversing with people. They're not sitting there talking to it. People don't even talk on the phone anymore. I mean, I call people that I've been talking on the phone with for years, and they get offended if I call them now. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why?
well, you used to get offended if you got a phone call before 2 p.m.
Well, that's different. That was my vampirism kicking in because I was a night owl. Remember, this is after hours. We never close.
That's right.
So it's just what's your take on this, Vinny? I know you're outspoken about a lot of things, and you're definitely not PC out there.
No, VC is not VC along with TC
Right.
is not PC. No, I am an advocate that everything nowadays is a friggin' joke. First off, they're not holiday trees; they're Christmas trees.
They are Christmas trees.
I was raised Catholic. Now, whatever my religious belief is now,
Right.
Doesn't matter. I celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate the holidays. Jewish people celebrate
Hanukkah.
They don't celebrate the holidays. It's ridiculous. If I want to call somebody a moron, or if I want to call somebody something, whatever it may be, or if I want to say something, it's ridiculous that nowadays you can't even breathe without somebody getting offended. And I've seen it happen.
Now, getting back to the point on Christmas, I mean, Reno could start his own holiday tomorrow, and we would all support it. I mean, that's his right as a human being to have whatever holiday he wants to have. I have Christmas, you have whatever you want to celebrate. And it's a whole big world, and it's great that all these cultures have these, you know, different events. But why do people get so offended?
It's because the media, that's what the media is all about. Now, we're considered technically social media.
Right.
But we're not that end of the social media. This is an enjoyable show. We talk about different things. We speak our mind. The problem is the news, the media outlets, personally, I think it's a conspiracy. We talk about conspiracies. I personally think that they're feeding into that's what they want. They want to breed hatred. They want to breed, you know, not social. They want to breed, you know, things such as racism.
Right.
You know, they want to breed hate. They want to breed the culture so that there is a need for all these different, you know, political avenues, political things. I want to be this. I want to be that. I mean, personally, when it comes down to politics and all this, my opinion is do away with all the political parties. Make it one party. We live in America. Call it the American Party. That's it. We're all Americans. It doesn't matter what you say.
One nation under God.
One nation. And that's another thing.
That's true.
There are people that don't want the word under God involved because there are people out there, I don't believe in God.
Okay, whether you believe in God or not, that's your own right and whatnot.
Right.
But notice they don't get offended when they get money. And what does it say on money? In God we trust.
They want to change that.
You never see people bitching and complaining. If I gave someone $100 bill right now that's an atheist or whatnot, they're not going to refuse it.
Oh, and if they weren't American, they'd be like, "Oh, I love Ben Franklin. I love Ben Franklin.
Right,
I
right.
love Ben." You know, that's what it would. It's ridiculous.
It's just and all these. I mean, I love celebrities. We celebrity stalk and meet all these celebrities. It's fun, but you know, it's about time that a lot of these people woke up and stopped listening to like these 23-year-old pop singers that don't know their left from their right, and these people out there, these sheeple, are listening to these people like they're gods.
You know, I got to say, I'm not a supporter of any political party. You know me a long time. I speak my mind how it is. I got to say that this time around, no, Donald Trump ain't the best guy for the job. he's probably one of the worst guys for the job. But in the choices that we have, and the fact that he's overly brash, like he overdoes it. If he could tone it back and just speak his mind with a little bit more class, he is the guy for the job.
I don't vote because I know it's all like professional.
rigged.
It's all like professional wrestling. They're all working for the same person behind the
course they are.
scenes. One guy's a good guy, one guy's a bad guy. But as an entertainer and someone who likes to be entertained, I would think it would be hysterical if Donald Trump wins. I mean, just think, it'd be like Biff from Back to the Future, with that one had, the guy with the almanac who had the millions and trillions of dollars, the evil Biff, was in charge. Now, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is evil. He's just a guy who speaks his mind and whatnot. And I mean, I'm going to vote for Bull this year. I always do write-in votes because, there's someone who's tallying these votes somewhere and go, who's Colonel Bull Montana? He just got a vote for president. That's the great thing about living in the United States of America. You can do this sort of thing. I mean,
But that's a problem. That's what social media is becoming. It's becoming that they want us so that we can't do that anymore because there are too many people out there. And I have to agree with what Clinton said. This is
Clint Eastwood, not
Clint
Clinton.
Eastwood. I'm sorry. What Clint Eastwood said. This is the pussy generation.
It is.
It is. It's a bunch of puss bags. I know as I'm raising my kids with the same mental concepts and same values I have. I'm old school.
Now, now your kids, do they have cell phones?
My oldest does.
Okay, and how old is your oldest kid?
She's almost 12.
12 years old. Now, do you restrict her what she does on the phone? I mean, does she use it just for, like, if you're lost out somewhere or you need a ride home or whatnot?
I
mean,
restrict it to a point. Like, my kid's not on Facebook.
Okay.
My kid is not, she's not allowed to go on, she does have an Instagram account, but she's not allowed to go on Twitter. She,
Right.
she's allowed to do certain things, but nothing that is really driven by like media moguls or things that where she
Right.
can find.
I have two nephews. Well, they're 5 and 11 years old, and their parents let them go on their iPad, to play video games every
Yeah,
once
same
in a
here,
while,
yeah.
or go on YouTube and watch cartoons and whatnot. But you know what they make them do that a lot of people out there aren't doing with kids these days? They let them go outside and play.
Oh, my daughter plays in 2 soccer leagues. She's in an acting thing.
Right.
So she understands that, like me, I'm a video game kid. I loved video games growing up, but I also played 2 sports growing up too, and I went to the park.
Right,
and I got into fights, and I got
Yeah,
everything.
that's another thing.
So-
Kids don't get in fights anymore and whatnot. When I was a kid, all right, we didn't have computers. We didn't have,
Whoa. You had a computer. It was called the Commodore 64, the Amiga.
that was junk. I'm talking about my computer, my social media outlet was television.
It was.
And it was cable television because when I was in, my early teens and whatnot, that's when cable television first came on board, and that was my outlet to the world. And a lot of even generations before us was like, the same thing we're complaining about. Kids are out there doing social media, they're not doing anything. Kids of my generation stayed in and watched television all day or played video games and whatnot. But still, we went out and actually did things. We socialized with people.
How many times did we socialize down the Boston Garden?
Oh, I mean, a million times. That's where we came across
Bull?
That's right.
Boomerang Chastain. Now, Colonel, you're about a little older than me and Vinny and Jeff down here. What's your take on this whole social media thing? And do you think this society has become, a bunch of wimps?
I believe that the society is a I believe the way that I grew up, I never had this social.
You didn't even have color TV when you were growing up.
Right.
You had black and white and radio. You're lucky you had a
Yeah.
telephone.
He had the
and whatnot.
rabbit ear TVs.
Now, you could never be confused of not being a social person because you know everybody on the planet out there.
That's right.
I mean, you are Mr. Social.
Ain't
out
that the
there.
truth?
Right.
I mean, for crying out loud out there. Now, Jeff, you are like myself, grew up on cable television and whatnot, and loved watching movies and television shows of that era. What's your take on this whole new generation, just staring at phones and chasing around imaginary cartoons out, in parks and all over the place? What's your take on this?
First of all, I agree with Mr. Eastwood that this is kind of the pussy generation and everything. Let's look at one of my favorite movies, Sudden Impact, which is a Dirty Harry movie that Clint directed himself. That was the one when his wife got raped, Sandra Locke, and he went and went out and shot all the rapists. In that movie, he had Clint punched a woman in the face who was jumped on his back and and he turned around, punched her in the face. You'll never see that in a movie again, ever. And also, Clint's a guy who like we said, he's a man's man, because also in that movie he had a bulldog, and he actually showed his dog farting, and they panned in on the dog's asshole. And Clint's a guy who only he would put a fart joke in the nobody puts a fart joke in a movie, but Clint understands.
George Lucas did with Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, well. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
This is
that's
true. This is true. You know, Clint.
There aren't as many fart jokes but but maybe it's said in that movie, maybe Clint is maybe some people might think of him as part of the dinosaur generation. But yeah, I do agree that the kids these days, they don't even fight anymore. They're not
that we're encouraging fighting, but I'm just saying they don't stand up for themselves anymore.
They don't stand up for themselves. The kids are more likely to turn around and sue their parents these days.
I've seen it happen. No, Jeff, that is what happens. I know I have a female friend of mine who went through a divorce, and her oldest daughter, because she was getting punished, said, I'm calling whatever it's called, DSS, DCF, whatever.
The cops.
She was going to call and have the state take her away because she wasn't getting what she wants. Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, if I said that to my mother would have not only picked up the phone and called them, but would have beat the ever-living hell out of me.
With the phone.
With the phone. And then said, here, come pick up him up because he needs to go.
Right.
You know.
And another thing
ridiculous.
is, all right, a lot of these kids now are like their early teens and whatnot, and they just spend an enormous amount of time on their phone doing nonsense, chasing Pokemons and whatnot. Like we stated earlier, our social outlet was cable television. Now,
well, let's say, like back in our days, our social outlet, the only people we were hurling balls at was playing kickball out in the streets.
Right, but
it was real contact stuff.
I'm trying to make a point here. But when we had cable television, Jeff, we were, 13, 14 years old, and we were watching rated R movies, right?
Right.
And what was the reason we were watching these rated R movies?
Nudity.
Exactly. I mean, I'm getting to the point. We were you can't tell me that Vinny, Jeff, Bull, Reno down there, when Fast Times at Ridgemont High wasn't on, you couldn't wait for that Phoebe Kate scene, right?
Couldn't wait.
Now these kids they have the access to the entire world on their phone, and they don't care about stuff like that anymore.
No.
Nothing.
No.
They care more about, Pokemon and all that other junk. And it's just society may not be here generations from now because, they may not, reproduce. I'm being serious here.
I'm with you. There's a lot of things that are changing. Unfortunately, the world has definitely changed for a negative. And honestly, it's gonna take something big to happen in order for things to start changing.
Actually, Colonel, I'm not going to vote for you this year. You know who I'm going to vote for? Clint Eastwood.
I gotta say real quick, Eastwood, we talk about Eastwood, Hollywood. He's made some really, really good movies that kind of touch upon stuff like that, like Gran Torino.
Right.
Where he plays the racist person and actually helps the girl gets raped, the Cambodian girl gets raped.
Right.
But he's playing that racist.
He was the racist in the movie, but he was actually a nice guy underneath all that gruffness.
He's made $1 Million Baby.
Right.
Where it was the woman trying to break in and everything she went through. He says it like it is. Yeah, he is an old school kind of guy, but that's the mentality that this world needs.
Right.
Because without that, we are pussies.
Okay, I'm voting for Clint. Yes, Colonel.
Speaking of Mr. Eastwood,
yeah,
where I grew up, he actually was standing on the corner when they were doing them. Mystic River Bridge there.
Oh, yeah?
He probably knows Eastwood.
I'm sure he does. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a big-time commercial break, and we come back. We'll talk about what's on the table there, Vinny, okay?
Okay.
This is the After Hours of T-Series Restani, the podcast. We'll be right back after this big-time commercial break. Alrighty, welcome back from that big-time commercial break. That is our new sponsor down here, our good friends down at BackToTheFuture.com. are selling on their fantastic website the 1/8 scale hoverboard. Now that thing right there, we have it on the desk right now. No one done it, but the Colonel's actually playing with it right now. But proceeds from this, they only made 2015 of them. Get it? 2015. That's the year they traveled to, and Back to the Future 2. And portions of the money from all the sales of the hoverboard go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So anybody out there who's listening to this podcast who just saw that commercial, go to backtothefuture.com, pick yourself up this fantastic item because you'll be helping out Michael J. Fox, and it's a great little piece of memorabilia. Now, Colonel, you've been playing with this little hoverboard for the last 2 hours. What do you think about it?
It's a great toy for the young Back to the Future fans.
No, not even the young Back to the Future fans, the old Back to the Future
Yeah.
fans like me. I mean, it's a limited edition, and it has actually the autographs. They're not authentic autographs, but they're on the piece. It's of Robert Zemeckis, the director, Michael J. Fox, and Bob Gill, the writer and producer down there. So if you're a Back to the Future fan, which I know a lot of our podcast listeners are, because they talk about it all the time, go check out backtothefuture.com and help out this fantastic cause for the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Who knows, if they find a cure, maybe there will be a Back to the Future Part 4.
I don't know. What are you gonna do now? The story's over.
You never know.
It'd have to be like his kids, and
Well,
he built
whatever,
the time
you know,
machine.
who knows?
Although, it's funny you said Robert Zemeckis. I can't believe. I forgot he was involved in that movie. If
wrote
you think
it-
about it, he did all the Pirate of the Caribbean movies.
Wrong.
What?
No.
Oh, that was Jerry Buck. That's right.
Robert Zemeckis is the director who did Forrest Gump,
Forrest Gump.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
That's what.
Romancing the Stone, all the Back to the Future movies.
And don't forget Used Cars.
Used Cars were Kurt
Used
Russell.
Cars, really?
Oh, yeah. That was one of his first movies.
It was Jerry Buckham. Okay,
Jerry
never mind.
Jerry Buckheimer is one of the producers who did everything in the 80s. He did Top Gun.
Yes.
What you name it, Jerry Buckheimer had his
I
hands
heard.
on it.
Boomerang Chastain is gonna go work for Vivid.
You going to work for Vivid, Reno?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, we'll have to see that.
I heard he was. I overheard him on the phone. I heard him make sure you wear the hat.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
that's a different subject for a different time. That would be really late after hours. Okay, now what a new subject down here on the program down here we're going to talk about is the Olympics. The Olympics is back in town again. Well, not really in town. It's in Rio.
could have been in town.
It could have been. It could have been in. Well, somewhere down the line. They could have-
2020.
It's on tonight.
It's on tonight. That's exactly right.
I'm going to watch when I get home tonight.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good, Reno. All right. Let me ask the
I'll
question
be up
first.
all night with
You'll
it.
be up all night. Great. Okay. Which is your favorite Olympics out there? Is it the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics? Now, I'm going to ask you, Boomerang Chastain, since you are looking
I
for.
like the winter.
Why do you like the Winter Olympics?
I like to watch the USA hockey game
You like the hockey teams,
and
huh?
the basketball game.
They don't play basketball at the Winter
They're
Olympics.
playing
Hockey.
basketball in the summer.
In the Summer
Oh, yeah.
Olympics.
I like to play hockey.
Okay, they play hockey down there.
Yeah.
Have you ever skated before?
No,
You never have, huh?
no.
What's your favorite hockey team of all time?
The Bruins.
Your Bruins.
Good answer.
Now, who was your favorite Bruins player? You were talking about it not too long ago down here.
Kid Hodge.
Who?
Kid Hodge.
Kenny Hodge.
Kenny Hodge. Okay, and what
He's an old-time Bruin.
Okay, well, you're old too. So, what position did he play?
He play,
believe it was a forward, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it was a
forward.
Was a forward? Okay, I know
Yeah.
nothing. I've been to 2 hockey games my entire life. So, you like the winter games because of the hockey teams, Reno, huh?
I used to play softball for the Special Olympics.
I know you did, and you won an award for that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a trophy.
It's great. Well, you're our favorite Olympian. then.
Basketball.
Although, again,
I played
softball,
basketball.
those would be summer
Yeah.
sports. But, yeah.
Hats off to you, Reno. No pun intended down there. Colonel Bill Montana, if you had your choice, which Olympics would you be in, summer or winter, and why?
I like the Summer Olympics
Why is that?
because they got that collegiate style of wrestling.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
You like the Greco-Roman style wrestling?
But
there?
one of the best Olympic guys, I wish he was still around there, happened to be Dan Gable.
Dan Gable. I do know who Dan Gable is. He's one of the Iron Sheik's favorite amateur wrestlers out there.
Okay.
Our good friend, the Iron Sheik. So you would go with the Summer Olympics over the Winter Olympics.
Right.
Okay, fascinating. Vinny Capelli, if you had your choice, if you were an Olympiad, which one would you want to partake in?
As much as I enjoy watching the Taekwondo and Judo events that Summer Olympics have, the
Yeah.
karate and and also some of the track and field events. I am a Winter Olympic guy.
Really?
I play hockey. I love watching the ski jumping. I love watching.
Let's be honest. People watch ski jumping so they can see if they crash.
No, actually, no. I think it's just amazing how fast and how high some of those guys go. Plus, they now incorporate kind of some of the X Games stuff with the snowboarding.
Oh yeah,
and,
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
So, and again, the hockey. I love hockey.
those
I played
snowboarding,
it.
those snowboarding kind of look like they're on hoverboards.
But you know what sport I actually tried and I love it?
What's that?
That what do they call that?
Curling.
Curling. Yes, it's actually pretty fun.
Okay, how is that a sport? It's kind of like NASCAR.
Golf's a sport, right?
Oh, no, it's not.
Well, it's considered a
It's
sport.
a game, all right?
It's more of a game. It's like bocce.
Right.
It's like playing bocce on ice, but again, it's enjoyable.
Unbelievable.
And of course, I love seeing those Swedish snow bunnies. Oh, some of them.
Stockholm, Sweden.
They make me go to 6 to midnight like you wouldn't believe.
Wasn't that a movie with Charles Bronson?
What, 6 to midnight?
Yeah.
I believe that was 10 to midnight.
Oh, 10 to midnight.
Yeah, no.
I knew
Yeah,
you'd know
6 to
that.
midnight. Yeah, no.
So Jeff, summer or winter Olympics?
Do they have dog sledding as an Olympic sport? No.
No, but they should.
They might have. I mean,
Well, whatever. Whatever. Winter is better. I enjoy the skiing, the snowboarding. Winter has a lot better sports. Even the ice skating.
The dog sledding that's the Iditarod, right?
It's one of them, yeah, the Iditarod.
And it's up in Alaska or
Alaska,
whatnot, yeah.
And Canada.
Well, dog sled is what my brothers and sisters call me. That's my name in Southie.
That's his Southie name. That's his street. That's his street
no,
cred.
Yeah,
Street
the South. Well, the winter sport. Yeah, the Winter Olympics is what I'm down with.
Okay.
Even ice skating.
The figure skating out there. Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, let me ask you, TC. Now, I know you're not a giant sports advocate.
No.
But if you had to sit at home and watch summer or winter, which one would you prefer?
Okay, I would definitely have to say Winter Olympics because as a kid, I always liked watching the bobsleds.
Those are fun, too.
And,
yeah, bobsledding.
No,
yeah.
bobsleds, not boxing. All right.
They have boxing too.
Summer Olympics.
That's Summer Olympics,
Yeah.
right? Not Winter Olympics. But yeah, definitely the bobsled because I always actually want to ride one of those things. They like going 100. It's like kind of reminded me of the.
They had the coolest tracks in the world, didn't they?
Right,
I
it's-
always looked at those and I'd love to run down there on my sled, boy.
It's kind of like being in the trench of the Death Star run in A New Hope.
Yes,
But in a
yes.
bobsled, But if I had to, for the Summer Olympics, I kind of dig what the broads wear and the chick
Beach
volleyball.
Yeah. Well, have you heard about the Summer Olympics this year?
No, I haven't. No.
So, a few things. Let's just say Rio will never, ever, ever get the Olympics again.
Why is that?
Well, the beaches where they're playing the Summer Olympics,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, human body parts were washing up on shore.
Okay, that happens in Revere also.
Well, but this is much more prominent where they are.
Really?
Very dirty, raw sewage
Okay.
is mixed in with the old lines down there. Where they're playing, it's a very poor outside of the main city.
Now they have a lot of nude beaches down in Rio.
They do, but you could live down there like a king. I mean, like a king, you live down there.
Let's go.
Not that you don't live like a king now.
In the podcast penthouse.
But down there, you live like a giant king until you walk outside of the general vicinity.
Yeah.
And then you get kidnapped, raped, murdered, or they cut your liver out.
Oh yeah,
I'm
a
not
lot of
kidding you.
voodoo out there. A lot of voodoo.
Well,
out
no,
there.
that's in Jamaica, and Bull knows all about the voodoo now. He's got a voodoo mama.
But in Rio too.
So what do you think about
You're right,
that? Bill, you going to go down to the Rio de Janeiro and partake in the Olympics?
There's a reason why what they were talking about. I agree with what Vinny was saying, and someone told me what happens. They've been walking in dog mess or something.
Yes.
Dog crap and
Everything.
dog
You name
crap,
it.
and human feces they're walking.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Now, Colonel, what about your Jamaican girl? Was she going to be in the Jamaican bobsled team like that movie with John Candy?
What was the name of it?
Cool Runnings.
Man.
No, she's not. She walks the beach.
Okay, so she's more of a Summer Olympics type of person.
Correct.
Unbelievable down there. Which would be your favorite Olympics out there? Would it be the summer or winter? Tweet me at After Hours TC. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take another big-time commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching After Hours with TC Restani.
Alrighty, there it is once again, your ad for the hoverboards from BackToTheFuture.com. Get yours exclusively at BackToTheFuture.com and help out the Michael J. Fox Foundation. All right, this is our final segment of the show tonight, and Hollywood Joel actually texted me this, talking about social media earlier today because he can't be here because of the fungi he has on his leg because he tried his own version of the barbecue smoothie, and I have no idea what concoctions he did that because the Colonel drank one about 3 weeks ago, and he doesn't have any scars or any scurvy or anything falling off on the man down there. But here's the question that Hollywood Joel has sent in. What is your favorite job, and what is the worst job you ever had? I'm going to start with you, Boomerang Chastain. What's your favorite job you've ever had?
Friendlies.
Friendlies. Now, for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know what it is, Friendlies is a restaurant out there.
Yeah.
It's a family-style
Yeah.
restaurant that
Yeah,
served ice cream.
I used to work at Friendlies in Reading,
Okay.
not Reading.
So why was that your favorite one?
I don't know. I like ice cream.
You like ice cream, huh?
Yeah.
Did you get
I like their food
You like their food then? Did you get any?
Yeah.
Was it free?
sometimes.
Sometimes it
you
was,
get
huh?
a discount.
You got a discount. Okay, so
You
that
have to pay half of it.
Okay, half the money out there. That's good. All right, now that was your favorite job. What was your worst job that you hated the most?
Good times.
Good Times. Now, but you were there every single day. Now, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Good Times was indoor arcade and
Yeah.
playland that had go-karts and all that, and batting
they had
cages
wrestling
and
shows there,
wrestling too.
too.
Yeah, but why for someone who was there every single day for
I used to
years,
work there.
why did you hate it? I mean, if you hated it, why were you there every day?
I don't know. I just hang around.
Yeah, but why did you hate it?
I don't hate it.
I just said what was the worst job you had, and you said Good
Oh.
Times.
I think Friendlies was the worst job you had,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
getting
understand.
confused here because you just said Friendlies was his
Yeah,
favorite.
I thought he
job.
was going to say Good Times was his favorite because he was down
yeah,
there every
Good
day.
Time was my favorite.
Okay, Good Times was your favorite, and
Too many
Friendlies was
hookers
your
on his
least.
mind right now.
Yeah, you just what? You're just thinking about that Chinese food we're having after the
Tighten up
show.
your head a little bit. It's getting a little loose, Bo.
All right, thanks, Reno. That was very informative down there. Vinny Capelli, your worst job you've ever had that you can talk about legally, and the best job you ever had.
All right. Well, the worst job I ever had was a summertime job I took working for this guy doing some electrical work.
Okay,
And it was just the worst experience of my life.
why was it?
Because when you break, when to be when you break in as an electrician, you're considered a quote unquote an apprentice, and they treat you like dog crap.
My young apprentice.
Yes, yes. Well, you're treated like as such. And I'm talking, I was working a full summer. Now, mind you, at this time, all I could think about was two things: getting my car and picking up chicks.
Right,
And
Clint Eastwood would be proud of you.
yeah, and I'll tell you, I was working in a school,
Yeah.
and the elevator didn't work. I was up and down 7 flights of stairs, humping pipe, humping boxes. It was not enjoyable, and the pay was crap.
All right, what about
Even back then.
What about your favorite job?
My favorite job.
Yeah.
I do my favorite job right now, being me, Vinny Capelli.
So that's your favorite
But
job.
no,
I'm sure Big Lou would agree.
my favorite job, I'd have to say, actually was being in business for myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
A legal business.
Oh,
for
what were you
myself.
doing?
Being an electrician.
Okay.
But,
So your worst and your favorite are all around electricity.
well, it's because that's what I
So
chose to be.
You're an electrician, right?
Yes, by trade.
All right. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What the hell is a gigawatt?
it's a form of voltage.
A form of voltage.
Yes,
Huh?
it's
Okay.
a form of voltage. Now, but I do have to tell you that in that meantime, I have a job that I both loved and hated.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't, in a way it was employment, in a way it wasn't, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And briefly, it was the wrestling business.
Oh.
And I think you could agree. I think you understand what you might understand because I've talked to you about it a lot.
Yeah, because it was you were living out your childhood fantasy, but the financial end sucked.
Well, I think we also learn in the wrestling business. You know, I just want to say what they say on TV is really not what it. And Bull, you know this. You've been around with me a long time. What they see on TV is not really what it is behind the scenes.
No.
You know, yeah, it's great when you make it that big, but when you're down in the low ends of what they call the independents,
Right.
It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a cutthroat business. It's shady. It's dirty.
If you ever want to see what it really is like, go see the movie The Wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
'Cause
was-
that's exactly what happened.
That was a perfect
know,
autobiographical pick of what it's really like in that crazy.
I often
industry.
thought of maybe writing a book about what it's really like to be involved in the independent wrestling scene and how, you know, you see on TV, the Bellas and the John Cena's and the whatnot and the houses they have.
We're talking about the Bellas.
Right. But the houses and you hear all the monies, but
Who's your favorite Bella? I mean, they're twins.
I'm not crazy about the Bellas, to be honest with you.
Neither one I, but they've kind of one has kind of grown on me.
If anything, it's Brie.
Oh, Nikki.
Brie looks like she'd be more wild in bed.
Yeah, but Nikki's got that.
Nikki's just too,
Oh.
you know.
She's got the
plus,
curves.
She's got John Cena. Me and Cena's dad don't see eye to eye sometimes.
Hey, you're talking
so.
about my agent down there.
Yeah, I
Johnny
know. Well,
Fabulous.
your agent and me and him have had a little bit of a thing. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying is just, truth be told, when you see behind the scenes and you see what it's really like living. You know, I know people that when you go to their house, when they get on a stage, you think they're $1 million. When you go behind doors, you know, you either see them shooting a needle in their ass, or they're slapping their girlfriend, or they're fighting, or they're broke as a joke.
Right.
And you think what you see, you know.
What you see on TV is an illusion.
Well, it's an illusion for 99% of the people that are involved in the business.
Right.
Only 1% make it, let's face it.
Okay, that's true. All right. I've been waiting for this one. Jeff, I've known you for a million years down here.
Sure.
And what is your favorite job that you've ever had, and what is the worst job you ever had?
Okay, the favorite job I've ever had happened to be at Boston Costume when it was over on Lansdowne Street. I worked there for about maybe 2 years. I was brought on Halloween time. Now, I enjoyed it there because I was helping people getting dressed up in their Halloween costumes. My vast movie knowledge helped me. And,
Is that like the Joke is Wild? That place, Joke is Wild?
It's similar. Boston Costume was a gigantic professional costume place. It was originally in downtown Boston. Now
Yeah,
it's at the Garment District over in Cambridge.
Yeah,
I
but
know
they,
the place you're talking
yeah,
about.
they did
All right, all right.
So they did all the and they even provided the costumes for all the local plays like Grease and everything. When they came, everybody came there. Now, I'll have you know why. Half of the staff there was gay and everything, and all these gorgeous women would come in and everything that were in the plays, and I would act like throw on a fruity shirt, and I would act like that I'm gay, so I'd help them out, and these women would get undressed right in front of me, and I'd be like, "Oh, super! That dress looks really good on you." Meanwhile, I'm okay.
So basically, you were pretending to be this way so you could get a cheap peek.
Oh yeah. I was
At least you admit it.
Talk about social media going all
They
over
had
it,
these
huh?
bathrooms with these dressing rooms with,
So this was
the really tiny curtains.
Okay, so
I was watching that and
So
everything.
this is the worst job you ever had?
No, that was
Oh,
the
that-
best
oh, that was
job
the
I've
best,
ever
the
had
best
until
one.
Don't ever
until
give
the
out his real
management
name.
found out that didn't last very long. The management found out what was going on, and I was fired.
There it is. Okay, there it is. I was just wondering.
So the worst job I've ever had was I was a grave digger. Well, I worked
grave
at a
digger?
cemetery, and I heard of the job when I was a teenager. I was about 19 or 20, and I was into heavy metal, and I was like, oh, grave digger, that'll be a wicked cool job. It'll be like a Stephen King story. Okay, so every morning I'm getting up at 5 in the morning and going to Roxbury to the Mount Hope Cemetery, and I got my and humping with a pick shovel, and no, that was no fun at all for a teenage kid.
Now you didn't. Did you ever ever see any of these bodies?
No. Well, I didn't see any of them, but one of the things that I was cutting grass on a hill where they bury homeless people in the cheap coffins, and my feet.
They're not
went
homeless
through-
anymore.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, they have a home.
And my
It's
feet.
called the ground.
One time I was weed whacking, and I up on the hill, and my feet went through the earth and everything, and one of the coffins broke, and I got incredibly sick because the death smell came up and got all over my clothes, and I had to I immediately started puking, and I got sick for 3 days.
I'm getting sick just him talking about
Well,
it.
yeah. I guess the being a grave digger was the very worst job I've ever had.
Okay,
If you have to ask.
That's well, we asked, and we know the best one. You know.
Oh, just thinking about
And
that.
we heard Jeff's worst one too. Now, Colonel Bill Montana, I've known you for seems like 1,000 years. Your favorite job that you ever had, and the worst job you ever had.
Well, the favorite job I ever had was down at Suffolk Downs. I started when I was a young kid.
Suffolk Downs, for those who don't know who I'm talking about, that was a horse racetrack.
Correct.
Okay.
And I was working for a very good trainer. His name was Billy Perry.
Yeah.
And Billy Perry was one of the best trainers down at Suffolk Downs I worked for.
But what did you do? What was your job?
I was a hot walker.
You what?
Now, what does that do?
What is a hot? I know a skywalker, but what's a hot walker?
You take the horse out of the barn,
Yeah.
around the barn.
Yeah.
You take the horse out of the stall,
Yeah.
and you're walking around. So the groom would rake up the droppings and you put it in the basket.
So this is of all the jobs you've had in the last close to 60 years.
But I traveled from my
That would fertilize the track. You walk the horse around, and it would poop on the track, and they would rake it in, so it would fertilize it. What would that do?
Well, I mean, what they would do, you pick it up and they put it in a big.
Oh, so you picked up after the horses?
No.
No.
He walked the horse
I
while
walked
someone else picked
the
it
horse
up.
and.
Oh, I gotcha.
So you weren't a pooper scooper.
No.
Okay.
Well, you had the second. Well, at least you didn't have the shit end.
We had Billy Perry had a couple of good horses
Yeah.
that ran in.
Did you ever bet on any of these horses?
Yep, I did.
Did you win?
One day I bet $4, and the name of the horse was Let Burn. Let Burn won the Nash Handicap 3 years in a row.
And how much did you win with that $4 investment?
Sometimes $25. It all depends on the odds.
Okay. So that was your favorite job, walking the horses around.
And the worst job I could say was when the circus come, I pick up the papers and all that.
Oh, he did the cleanup crew.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Were
were
the papers underneath the elephant cages or anything like that?
like a bird
Oh,
cage.
That would be terrible.
Now, I thought you were going to say your worst job was also at Suffolk Downs, where you had an interesting job, Colonel Bill Montana, and it's actually a real job that I saw on Dirty Jobs. You want to give the fans out there what one of your worst jobs ever was?
No, good.
You want me to say it? Why don't you say it? It was your job.
Well,
Wait, don't say it. Well, I think I know what it is.
What do you think it is?
When you got to jack off the horse.
You got it. Yeah.
All right, can we not talk about this?
No.
Let's not talk about this.
That was never. I never did that.
You
to
never
her.
did that?
No.
Oh, then the people down the pizza kitchen must be playing a joke on me because they told me that was one of your jobs.
No.
Okay, well, it is a real job because I saw it on that show, Dirty Jobs.
Yeah, it is a real job. It's disgusting.
It's maybe Reno. Maybe when you have your Vivid contract, you can do that, huh?
No.
Okay. Well,
You sure? What about some of your hookers? You think your hookers will do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, wait. Since we're talking about it, I've known you a long time.
yeah.
So, what was your
It doesn't involve any horses. That's
best
for sure.
and worst job?
Okay, the best job is obviously what I've been doing for the last 12 years, hosting a talk show. I mean, the people that I've met and the people that I've interviewed and whatnot are just going to continue down the line. This, of course, has been my favorite job. My worst job, it would have to be way back when, out in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I kind of came across the Colonel's path for the first time. little history lesson here. When I was a kid, my uncle owned a complete dive, way so far off the strip. It could have been in New Hampshire, and it was a place called the Damp Napkin. All right.
Sounds like a strip club.
And it was not a strip club.
Okay.
It was an end of the line place where all old time entertainers would finally go out to pasture. And who do you think was the doorman at the Damp Napkin?
The living legend
The
himself.
living legend himself. That's where I came across Colonel Bull Montana down there. Now my job down there was, I had to empty out all the trash barrels that were in the gross bathrooms and whatnot, take out the empty beer cans that people put cigars and cigarettes in, and it was just disgusting. But my uncle said, this is how you make your way up the entertainment ladder. What did I know? I was like 13 years old and whatnot, and that was the most disgusting job I've ever had. These people, I mean, I can't even describe how dirty and filthy these barflies were that used to come into this place. And, of course, they all wanted free stuff because they knew the colonel down there. How many people did you let into that place for free?
I say over about 700 people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and no wonder the place went out of business because you were the doorman down there.
Let me elaborate on this. All right, so we have the best and worst. I have a quick question for everybody.
Sure.
Quick question.
Sure.
The one job you would love to have.
The one job I would love to have.
I'll start with you.
If
you could pick one job, anything, doesn't matter what it is.
The one job I would love to have.
And it can't be a Jedi.
Okay. I would have to say the keeper of the key for all the secrets at Area 51.
Okay, all right. Jeff, what about you? One job.
I would have to say the Miss Nude America bikini waxer.
Okay, good.
It's a good one, Jeff.
Boomerang, what about you? Don't say be the water boy at WrestleMania.
What?
I love wrestling.
You want to be a wrestler?
You want to be a wrestler,
Yeah.
huh?
Okay.
Colonel.
I want to study to be a disc jockey to do some oldie but goodie shows.
Well, we could make that a possibility tomorrow if we wanted to. You could have your own podcast where you spun the oldies but goodies down there. What's your favorite type of music down there from the oldie generations, Colonel?
I like the 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah, what are you, a big Elvis fan?
No, I'm a big
doo-wop type of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sing us some doo-wop down there.
In the still of the night, shoot up
So I got to tell you, you know what I would want to be?
No.
A legal fixer.
A legal?
Have you seen the show Ray Donovan?
No, I have not.
No.
Check out the show Ray Donovan.
What is it about?
Well, Liev Schreiber, you know who guys on who Liev Schreiber is.
Right.
He plays a gentleman by the name of Ray Donovan.
Okay.
Him and his family moved out from South Boston
Oh, they might know Jeff.
to Hollywood.
Okay.
And Ray is what they call a fixer.
A fixer.
Let's just say it's all the power, all the glory, every connection in the world, and nobody messes with Ray Donovan.
Really? So that's your dream job.
All right, well, kind of what I do already. But anyways, no.
Obviously, you didn't fix the brakes on Hollywood.
No,
Joe's.
honestly, my dream job, I would be my own motorcycle custom builder and fabricator.
Kind of like the
Jesse James. Just kind of like Jesse James.
Or the Tuttles.
Or the Tuttles. I would love to open my own business and have that knowledge.
That's actually could
But
be a
it's the knowledge.
possibility.
It's having that kind of knowledge.
I mean, I'm
and
sure
being
you're going to be
that
opening up Vinny Capelli's motorcycle shop before I get the keys to Area 51.
good. Yeah. But if I had the time and the ability to put years of dedication into that work,
Yeah.
that's what I'd want to do. It's hard work, but I wouldn't mind it.
What is your ultimate custom bike that you would like to build?
I would love to take I'm a advocate for what they call baggers. So I'd love to take
Paper or plastic?
No, it's called a bagger.
Oh.
I'd love to take a bagger and convert it, and I have this vision of converting it into the ultimate chopper that looks like a T-101 from the Terminator.
Really?
Yes, it would look just like the T-101 riding down the street.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Would you have like a push a button that would say, I'll be back? Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, it would say, come with me if you want to live.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Colonel's doo-wop days down there, I mean, I'm getting through my earpiece right now from our executive producer Sabrina, who will be making a guest appearance on our show in the upcoming weeks.
Really?
She's listening right now. She has the feed directed to her computer or iPhone or whatever, and she wants to hear some more singing, Colonel. You can't let her down.
Well, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
What?
How I wonder where you are. That come out.
What?
19.
That's a lullaby.
No.
Sing me some Chuck Berry. Come on.
Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat girl. Don't you step on my glaze street shoes.
That's Elvis.
Now listen. Come on.
You know,
This is your cousin, Marvin Barry.
Yeah, sing some Johnny Be Good down there, Colonel.
Some Johnny Be Good.
Since we have the new sponsor from
That's what I'm thinking about
BackToTheFuture.com,
right now. Come on.
close the show with some Johnny Be Good for us.
Well, go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go. That's all I know, because I gotta, if I had my little song charts here with the words here, I'd do it for you.
Well, and speaking of go, 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 we're going to wrap up the show right now. Unbelievable, Colonel, down there. We're going to make your dream a possibility. You're going to become a DJ. We're going to have an oldie but
Maybe
goodie.
you should host a show one night.
I think, you know what, Colonel? I think we're going to have a spin-off of this show where it's the Rockin' Through the Ages with Colonel Bull Montana. What do you think about that?
That's what I want to do someday.
Okay, well, I want to thank my esteemed panel of experts here for episode number 6 of the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. South Boston Jeff, Colonel Bull
Hey,
Montana,
great hanging out.
Ricochet Reno Chastain.
Dang. Hello.
Okay, Vinny Capelli.
Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, baby.
Unbelievable. I'm TC Restani. Remember, this is After Hours, and we what?
We
never close.